in Pierre, who's the co-founder of Open Food Facts, which is developing an eco-score to help consumers see the environmental impact of food and drink products. Pierre, thank you for your patience. Explain to me how this is going to affect my day.
So basically, right now, it's impossible to get a clear view of the products in a store. So if you're picking a product, it's hard to compare the health impact it will have. So obviously, there are the UK traffic lights. They're a bit complicated. And it's also very hard or impossible to assess the environmental impact, the impact on the planet the product will have. So where Open Food Facts comes in, it's basically we had this crazy idea of collecting information about all the products in the world and basically score and give grades to all the products so that it's easier for you to make the right choices for you, but also for the planet.
Okay, so how does the grading system work? What's it based on?
So basically, we have the Nutri-Score, which is a grade from A to E, and it's based on the UK traffic lights, and the Eco-Score, which is actually being piloted all across the UK and continental Europe in Lidl stores, will use what is called life cycle assessments. So it's basically a thorough analysis of the impact on, for instance, deforestation, eutrophisation, water, and carbon emission, obviously. And on top of that, we add many criteria like packaging, transportation, origin of ingredients, and we're able to come up with a simple grade that lets you pick the right product.
So it could be quite interesting, couldn't it? Because say bananas, I don't know where I'm going to pick a country, Nairobi. Bananas come from Nairobi, from Kenya. They surely, even though they're being flown or transported by sea, surely they would be, how would you tell me that they are better for me to have than a banana grown in the UK in a special greenhouse? Would you have done all that work?
So basically, it all comes down to various criteria. So what you're alluding to is basically transportation, but obviously it doesn't make any environmental sense to grow a banana in a greenhouse in the UK because of the energy required to grow the thing. So transportation is actually not that carbon intensive when it's done the right way. So by boat, for instance, if you flew the banana by plane, then it's another story altogether.
So you'd have done all this work. So because obviously countries do compete as well, don't they? With certain products. Would your technology be able to say, I don't know, maybe let's bring in Matt into this as well? Because I don't know if you guys have worked together, but would it get to the point where I'd be told, okay, this is my shopping list, my weekly shopping list. I put it into some app or something, and it says, actually, if you want to be most environmentally friendly, you go to this supermarket for this shopping list rather than this supermarket because of their suppliers.
Yeah, so we work with Pierre's organisation through a grant, actually €1 million grant, and some engineering support, because it's all about, as you allude to, the data. And so one of the things we need to do is get better authoritative sources of data that the food manufacturers and the retailers can use in communicating to the consumer. So we don't think we can do that at Google ourselves. That's why we invest in supporting organizations like Pierre's to get the data together. And there'll be, I think, a real transition in the next 3 or 4 years to getting better data, whether we talked about the flights earlier or hotels or what Pierre's doing with food, enormously important. And then Pierre can describe how that data gets turned into a label on a can.
Yeah, basically it works. We have until the environmental labeling becomes compulsory on every product in every country. We have a mobile app, which is a simple way for consumers. So they basically scan the barcode and get information about so Eco-Score and Nutri-Score. But where it gets really interesting is that if the product is not listed in Open Food Fact, they can just take a few pictures. And using machine learning, we turn those pictures into information that can then be used to compute the scores. So that's where the Google engineers were key. It's basically helping us make sense of those photos, make sense of this information, and turn that into actionable insights that consumers can use daily.
Okay, we've spoken about everyday people doing their everyday thing and changing their lives. Just to be more thoughtful, I'm going to put you both on the spot. Pierre, Matt, one thing you changed this week in terms of eating or moving just because you were more conscious of climate change? So
I can start. Actually, I've I've gotten the flu because I kept walking through Glasgow.
Don't you blame the Glasgow weather?
The Glasgow weather, exactly. No, but basically, I came by train. I just avoided the trees on the tracks, and then walking across Glasgow is a nice way to experience the city and be obviously less carbon intensive.
Okay, Matt.
For me, I've been reducing red meat, but I've just eaten vegan solely here. And actually, it's incredible, the quality and taste. So I'm kind of on that journey myself. And Pierre's work's going to help me, I think.
It's been really interesting talking to you both. Matt Britton from Google, thank you very much. Pierre Slamich as well, thank you very much, co-founder of NGO Open Food Facts.